Senator from Louisiana.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I would ask unanimous consent to use a proper to during my remarks.
Without objection.
Mr. President, today I would like to talk about a distasteful subject to me. I get angry whenever I think about it. Fentanyl dealers. I hope there's a special place in hell for them. Fentanyl dealers. Today is National Fentanyl Awareness Day. Last year, fentanyl, or actually in 2021, fentanyl killed 71,000 Americans. If you break down these sterile statistics, you'll see that somebody in our country dies from fentanyl poisoning every 7 seconds. There ought to be a special place in hell for fentanyl dealers. And these aren't just sterile statistics, Mr. President. These are real people. And they have real families whose lives are torn apart. A lot of these deaths occur among young people. Fentanyl is now the leading cause of death for Americans who are 18 to 49. From 2020 to 2021, fentanyl deaths in our country.
Welcome back to Liberty Trigger. All right, folks, listen up, because Senator John Kennedy just dropped one of the most brutally honest speeches I've seen in a long time. And yes, he brought props. A pencil, a bag of fake fentanyl. The man turned the U.S. Senate into a middle school science demo, and honestly, I love it. Today, I'm reacting to his entire argument about the fentanyl crisis, sentencing, and why our justice system is basically asleep at the wheel. Let's jump right in.
Increased by 24%. It was even more among young people. What you allow is what will continue. And today, this body, the United States Congress, allows fentanyl dealers to carry on their person, if they would like to, enough fentanyl to kill 20,000 Americans before they face a mandatory 5-year minimum sentence if they're caught. Until these fentanyl dealers have to deal themselves with real consequences, I think the carnage is going to continue. I have a bill. It's called the Fairness in Fentanyl Sentencing Act of 2023. And it will change what I just talked about drastically. It will reduce the amount of fentanyl that a fentanyl dealer has to possess before facing the mandatory minimum 5 years of prison. Now, Mr. President, I know you know this, but when you're dealing with fentanyl, the amounts really matter. Fentanyl is 50 times more potent than heroin. Not 5, not 15, 50 times more potent. It takes only 2 milligrams to kill you. Here's a pencil. Here's the point of the pencil. The amount of fentanyl you can put on the point of a pencil will kill you. Let me say that again. The amount of fentanyl that you can put on the point of a pencil will kill you. Today, fentanyl dealers can carry up to 40 grams of fentanyl before they face the mandatory minimum 5 years of prison. And with me today, Mr. President, is one of my colleagues, Mr. Wesley Davis. who's also a good lawyer, I might add. This is 40 grams of fentanyl. It's not actually fentanyl, it's flour. But if the flour were fentanyl, this would be 40 grams. You can have this much. You have to have this much before you get a minimum 5-year sentence. And remember, the pencil, enough to go on the head of that goes on the head of a pencil can kill you. But you've got to have this much. I don't know how many pencil points this is, but it's a lot. You've got to have this much to get a minimum 5-year sentence. 40 grams. It would kill 20,000 people. This amount will kill every member of this body 200 times over. Every member of this body 200 times over. And thanks to us and the laws that we pass, the fentanyl dealer would just get a minimum 5-year sentence. See that other bag. Now this bag has 400 grams in it. It's flour, but fentanyl would represent the same thing. This has 400 grams. You have to have 400 grams, given the laws that we have passed, to face a mandatory 10-year sentence. 400 grams will kill 200,000 people, dead as a doornail.
Mr. President, the senator from Louisiana is a friend and someone who is, as he said, angry about these issues. That passion is real. His anger, his frustration, his determination is something that I share. In fact, I think this is one of the issues that if you polled 100 senators, you would see 100 senators who sincerely and urgently believe we need to do something with this crisis that the senator from Louisiana has so patently and clearly and candidly put forward. The fentanyl crisis is killing Americans at outrageous rates. Doing nothing or continuing to do the same thing is absolutely unacceptable. So my colleague, his passion, Louisianans should know that this is one of the best fighters when it comes to protecting people in his state, and his passion for protection affects people all over this country. But this is the challenge I have. We have now seen generations of the so-called war on drugs. And the solutions that we seem to come up with are about more and more and more incarceration. Longer and longer and longer sentences. And if that would solve the problem, count me in for continuing to go down that pathway. We now incarcerate more people than any country on the planet Earth. 1 out of every 3 incarcerated women on the planet Earth are here in America. 1 out of every 4 incarcerated people in the world are here in America. But has that stopped the crisis of drugs in our communities, kids dying of fentanyl, of opioids? No, there is no correlation. Not one study, nothing shows that higher and higher rates, higher and higher sentencing relates in any way to safer and safer communities. And I have looked for that data. The Department of Justice itself, the folks who are prosecuting people for drugs, their own report from the National Institute of Justice says more severe punishments do not chasten individuals convicted of these crimes. It has no correlation at all. And yet, as my colleagues pointed out, every 7 seconds someone is dying. And so the question is what will make the difference? My colleague, if you follow the evidence that you so passionately talked about on this day, National Fentanyl Awareness Day. The things that we know are actually driving down the deaths are treating this issue like a national health crisis. Yes, we need law enforcement. Yes, we need to stop this fentanyl coming into our country. Yes, the law enforcement needs all the tools. I support them. I will fight for them. I will continue to invest in them. But what's lacking to save lives is the kind of healthcare access that we need: drug treatment, awareness, public health interventions. We know those work, but yet we don't have the resources in communities to do them. I bring your attention to some of the facts.
So Kennedy gets up there and holds up a pencil, just a regular number 2 pencil, and goes, "The amount of fentanyl you can put on the tip of this pencil will kill you." And I'm sitting there like, great, fantastic. We now live in a country where a school supply doubles as a death measuring device. He's not lying, though. Fentanyl is insanely deadly. But here's the crazy part. Under current federal law, a dealer can carry 40 grams, enough to kill 20,000 Americans, and still only face a 5-year mandatory minimum. 5 years for carrying a mini apocalypse in your pocket. That's not justice. That's a coupon code. Kennedy's bill, the Fairness in Fentanyl Sentencing Act, would drop the threshold from 40 grams to 2 grams for serious punishment. And before anyone starts crying, let me make this clear. Backhand index pointing right, he's targeting dealers, not addicts. Backhand index pointing right, he's targeting the people spreading poison, not the people struggling with it. This is common sense. This is basic public safety. This is the kind of law you'd expect a functioning government to pass, which is probably why it hasn't passed yet. Then Senator Cory Booker stands up and gives a passionate speech for like 20 minutes. He basically says, punishing dealers more won't fix the crisis. We need public health solutions. We need compassion. Look at the past 40 years. Mandatory minimums don't work. And probably a partridge in a pear tree somewhere in there. And look, sure, treatment and compassion matter. But here's the difference. Addicts need help. Dealers need handcuffs. There is no compassionate approach to someone carrying enough fentanyl to wipe out a football stadium. Here's where I stand, and I know many of you agree. Skull fentanyl is flooding across our southern border. Skull cartels are making billions. Skull dealers are killing Americans for profit. And Washington is debating thresholds. Thresholds, like we're setting the price on tomatoes, not poison. We need to secure the border. We need tougher sentencing. We need to stop pretending this problem is going to solve itself with a PowerPoint presentation and a hug. Kennedy gets it. A lot of Americans get it. And it's time Congress wakes up. So here's my final thought. Every day, families lose loved ones to fentanyl. Every day, young people die from a substance they didn't even know they were taking. And every day, dealers walk free because our laws are outdated and soft. Kennedy's right. Booker's wrong on this one. And America needs courage, not excuses. Let me know in the comments. Fire should fentanyl dealers face tougher sentences? Fire is Kennedy's bill the solution? Fire and what would you do to stop this crisis? Like, subscribe and stay loud, stay proud, and stay patriotic.